Yes. See, I'm surprised how the president is talking, because sometimes revolutions in the world that has happened, revolution has to achieve something. But for us, the revolution that we saw in 2024, it didn't achieve anything, as per my understanding.
Sure.
And it was something that was cooked by politicians, and that is the reason as to why they were calling it faceless, leaderless, rudderless. Because, just a moment, I gave you your time, so just give me my time.
And proceed.
You see, I understand if you can actually overlook now revolutions or the fight to just government, just society has been happening into the nation. After all, we fight to the street until we actually achieve something. Like when we went to the street the other time, when we were fighting for the Constitution, we achieved the Constitution. Today, the Gen Zs, people can quote that Article 37, give us the authority to go to the street. They don't know how that fight started and how that fight ended. That fight actually consumed more lives than the Gen Z. The Gen Z's one was it consumed only one life. Right?
What?
No. It consumed, what I'm saying, it was only a revolution that was conducted on only one day. Many people were killed compared to these revolutions that has happened.
Is that right? Is that not?
No. Losing even a life. And that is the reason that's why I started here. That this week started well, but it ended bad because we lost one life. Losing one life, it is paramount to in fact, it is paramount to demonstrations. Youth should go out and demand why this youth was killed. Why? And we need also to allow the independent bodies to do their investigation, to know, because me and the president or any other in this house, we cannot ascertain and we cannot substantiate what happened inside the vehicle where Cecil Ouma was. So we need to allow the authorities to actually conduct the investigations. So I wanted to tell the president, we need to have, if, for instance, we want to fight for something, we need to have the objectives, and we need also to set the timeline. When we are starting it, how are we going to end it? And how are we going to achieve what we want? But the Gen Z uprising that took place in 2024, it was infiltrated by the politicians. I was wondering, seeing old people are heading to the police officers that now they are going to commemorate. These are the people who could have commemorated their soldiers who fallen when they were fighting, not the Gen Zs. To me, I found it like it is just a mockery to our democracy, right? And we as the youths, we need to rise and we need to have an agenda. And sometimes we need to sit back, dialogue, because dialogue also can give us the best, leadership we want.
I mean, when we talk about dialogue, and let's talk about even achievements of the 2024 Gen Z protest. And just like the question that Kamanya asked, is that brought about an awakening in terms of constitutionalism, governance, and adherence to the rule of law. That in its own self, one would say, is an achievement that came out of the push that we saw Kenyans were pushing on the streets. But that notwithstanding as well, one of the immediate successes we saw is that bill was actually kicked out. We will discuss about the political games that were played around and how that these clauses in that bill came back. But in the immediate successes that we saw, cabinet was dissolved, president sat down with Wananchi and had that conversation, the dialogue that we are talking about right now. But that notwithstanding, president, the buck stops again somewhere with the president, right? And as we the buck stops with the president. So even now, as we talk about the dialogue and conversations that continue, I ask myself, how genuine are these conversations and dialogue? Because on one hand, we talk about all the independent bodies to be allowed to do their work. They have the power. They need not be reminded what they need to do. It's because in one way or the other, they have surrendered their power to do that which they ought to do. The president says, no, not you, President William Ruto says, we have received this report that talks about compensation. Goes further to say it will never happen again. What are we seeing? Cecil dies again. from a bullet of a police officer. I ask the question, how genuine is it that with the frustrations that Kenyans are passing, they are being heard, they are being listened, and that intentionally we are changing for the better?
Can I interject a bit? You see, I've been a great campaigner. I'm telling our youths, we need to deviate from this politics of tokenism, because the politics of tokenism is actually making our youths to lose their life. Because when you see or when you hear what people are talking about, what Cecil was fighting for, it was about the 10K. He was given 10K, which we cannot even substantiate whether it is true. We need to sit down as youths. We need to have a candid and an honest conversation on how we want to go as youths.
How do you want to go? Because everybody keeps saying, let's have a conversation and let's get... how do people actually want to go?
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
We have a constitution. When you check at the chapter 6 of the constitution, it gives us the integrity and leadership. If we can adhere to this integrity and leadership, we can get good leaders into the office. Why? The moment today, President, you're going to vie. When you vie, people don't vet you because you have more money you give out, you dish out. So people will elect you because you're dishing more money out to them. So if we can deviate from this politics of tokenism and start using the chapter 6 of the constitution, we vet, who is this guy? Where did you came from? What have you been doing? Why do you want to lead us? From there now we will be having a honest conversation. But what I'm telling you today here, and you will mark this, even if we talk even if Jesus come today and we are not going to change our ways on how we are going to do our politics, we will still end up with bad leaders. Today, the way you have said in the finance bill of 2024, it was not the president. It was about the members of parliament, because this bill, if you can check the way this bill is prepared until the last moment, it passes through the members of parliament. These are the people who failed the nation, because they are the people who passed this bill. And the moment president called for a press and said, now we are going to recall the bill, they are the people who surrounded the president clapping. So going forward, in the next election, next year, we need to vet. We need to have the right leaders who can represent, who can legislate, and